Alrighty, so what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Bulls podcast. My name is Corey. Let's get straight to it. So in today's episode, we'll be discussing the Chicago Bulls officially retiring Derrick Rose's #1 jersey on January 24th of 2026. So Derrick Rose, in my opinion, definitely one of the better NBA players ever. Definitely one of the best Chicago Bulls ever. I've got him right behind Jordan, Pippen. Well, just Jordan and Pippen, then Derrick Rose. So one of the best Chicago Bulls players ever, one of the best NBA players overall. Definitely the fastest NBA player I ever seen, especially with the ball. Quicker than Iverson, way quicker, so props to Derrick Rose. Congrats to him. I'm pretty sure that Bulls management will do very well by him in regards to setting up the ceremony. I'm pretty sure that's going to be pretty good. So Derrick Rose, one of the best players in NBA history. Especially before the injuries. It's unfortunate that he had the injuries, but he still pushed through. I definitely think that if it wasn't for the injuries, that he would have definitely had at least one NBA championship, for the Chicago Bulls. At least one. I think that's fair to say. So youngest MVP in NBA history. Just a great all-around player. I wish we would have been able to see him without all of the injuries. But yeah, great player. I'm glad that he's getting his number retired in January. He's definitely deserving of it. So he's joining Jerry Sloan, Bob Love, Michael Jordan, and Scottie Pippen as players who already have their jerseys retired by the Chicago Bulls. So I remember one of my first times seeing Derrick Rose play. Me and Derrick Rose are the same age. I'm 36. I think he's 36 right now as well. So back in the day, my pops, he used to take me to go see Derrick Rose at the Chicago State tournaments. I think the first time was, I was probably a sophomore. I get to the game and I see D Rose in the in the layup line. This dude is just in there just doing all types of stuff in the layup line, just crazy, and I never seen nothing like that, and he's like 6'1" or whatever. And, I had never seen a player move like that, at that height, at that speed, with that type of athleticism, so just a great player, even seeing him in person in high school, just going to some of those games with my pops, rest in peace to my dad. Much respect to him, but I always cherish those moments that he took us to go see Derrick Rose and a lot of the other Chicago talent. So D Rose is definitely a Chicago legend. Shout outs to him. Just being able to be from Chicago and then grow up to play for your hometown team in the Chicago Bulls, and then be one of the best NBA players ever at that, and then have it all conclude by you. I'm assuming that he'll be a Hall of Famer one day. You guys can discuss that in the comments. I definitely see him as a Hall of Famer. But then to conclude that by having your jersey go up to the rafters in January of 2026. So that's a dream that a lot of people from Illinois have, not just from Chicago, but you're in your backyard or you're at the gym and you pretending to play for the Bulls, or you're pretending that you're the star of the team or whatever. So he actually lived that. He actually got to be able to live that out. And, that's a blessing for him. That's great for him. So much props to Derrick Rose, definitely deserving of it. So, yeah, anyway, just getting back to how I used to see him play, even in high school, just being a extraordinary talent, that the NBA had never seen before, in my personal opinion. So people talk about Russell Westbrook, being one of the more athletic point guards ever, but I believe that D Rose really got that started. Before D Rose, you didn't see a lot of the point guards of today moving how they are now. So Derrick Rose is definitely, in my book, the fastest NBA player ever. Especially with the ball. He was very quick. Nobody was staying in front of him. And that's from rookie season, really. I was surprised at how quick he was, because like seeing him play in person, I saw the speed, but then seeing it's kind of weird. You would think in person you could see it more, but I don't know, just my opinion. But just seeing his speed on the TV, his rookie year with the Bulls, just I'm talking about. I don't know if y'all remember this, but on Comcast Sportsnet, I remember this. Sometimes the camera had a hard time keeping up with him on Comcast Sportsnet. I don't know if y'all remember it. I remember that. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, D Rose, man, heck of a player. Great player. I know that it'll be a really great ceremony. Nobody will ever be able to wear his #1 jersey again. And I think that's a good thing, just to give respect to Derrick Rose and his legacy. So, man, he's retired from basketball. That's good for him. And just another thing about D Rose, his mentality One of my greatest memories of Derrick Rose as a player, you know, despite all the highlights, the crossovers, the speed and stuff like that, was just his personality. So I remember seeing him in person, like I say, in high school. Just playing different teams. You know, I think he went up against Marshall, you know, Patrick Beverly and them. He went up against what's that team that Sharon Collins played for? I forget the name of his school. Crane. Yeah, he went to Sharon Collins was at Crane. I remember seeing Simeon versus Crane. And one thing that I noticed about D Rose, outside of the athleticism and the skills, was just the mindset. Like, I'd be sitting there watching the game. And then, you know, with the tournaments, you know, you got several teams playing. So, you know, Simeon, they'll win or lose or whatever. And then they'll go sit on the, in the rafters waiting on the, the rest of the teams to finish in the tournament. So you got the rest of his teammates, you know, everybody conversating. They going to get nachos. They going to eat and conversating and all those good things. And nothing wrong with that. But D Rose, he'll just be sitting there. He'll just be sitting there locked in. He'll just be just locked in, you know, just looking at what's going on, you know, studying the game, monitoring the game. I'm assuming that he was looking at the game to see how he can get better, seeing how other players are playing. But I had never seen that before. I had never seen somebody that locked in before, especially at my age, you know. So he carried that over into the NBA as well, you know, just with the humble personality and even with I forget what year that was, but even at the All-Star game that year, you know, when LeBron and Chris Bosh, D Wade, you know, all the players came out dancing and all that stuff, and they all came out dancing and all that stuff, and then oh man, you seen D Rose there, you know, he's just looking at them like, all right, man, let's just play this game. You know what I'm saying? So just that competitive mindset, you know, and that's what's missing in today's game. You know, a lot of people are buddy, you know, best friends, and it's nothing wrong with it to a certain extent, but just that competitive element, you know, that he brought to the game. You know, being able to be locked in and just focus on the task at hand, beating the opponent. You know, man, just that Chicago mentality. You know, and that's some of my favorite things about D Rose outside of his game, just his mental approach to the game, because you don't see that a lot in today's game, even with some of the superstars in the NBA now. You know, with LeBron, you don't, no disrespect to him, great player, one of the greatest players of all time, but you know, you don't see that type of mentality from him. You know, but D Rose had that mentality. You know, he was a no nonsense player, go out there, get the job done, try his best, and you know, he wasn't with all the recruiting and all that stuff and best friends and joining teams and all of that types of stuff. He was just like, hey, you know, hey, whatever we got, hey, we rocking with that. You know, we're going to give it our best shot and try to win as many games as we can, try to win the title, you know. And I really respected that that mental mindset by D Rose, because a lot of that is missing in today's game. So shout out to him. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a great ceremony in January 2026, just watching his number get retired. I'm at work right now on my lunch break. You know, D Rose is retired. You know, he's doing great things with his life. You know, I'm happy with where I am in my life and things like that. But the reason why I just mentioned that is because, you know, you just look at that and you just see that, wow, like he accomplished all of these things at such a young age, you know, and it's just a blessing that he's able to retire from the game, focus on whatever else he has going on in his personal and in his professional and business life now. But yeah, just seeing this come full circle, just being the same age as him, and seeing him play in person and seeing him go to college and get drafted by the Bulls and have success with the Bulls and have his struggles and things like that. It's just, I definitely applaud that. It's definitely inspiring. It's definitely encouraging. It motivates me to push harder. It motivates me to give it my best shot, you know, here at work, and be the best worker that I can be, you know, and provide for my family and things like that. So shout out to D Rose. I'm looking forward to seeing this ceremony in January. Peace out. Thank you guys for checking out this episode of Let's Talk Bulls podcast. Have a great day.